Uh, man, looks like we are heading for literally a futuristic, uh, neo-feudalistic, technocratic, dark age. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. They say it's the love and light of Lucifer's coming. No. The neo-feudalistic, technocratic, dark age is upon us. What were they doing back in the day towards the beginning? Gay marriage, humping animals and shit like that. I mean, I'm sure they've always done. You know what I'm saying? There's always weird behavior out of people, especially during weird times. And you should expect that. The weirder people get, the weirder shit's getting. But it makes more sense when you actually see it out in the open. Because all the stuff we're seeing was going on in the dark for all these years, but it's coming to light now that how really backwards and funked up it is. I mean, and we've all been damaged to it by an extent because we were raised in it. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. If you're alive right now, you've lived your whole life in the end times, man. And people think, they see light. And that's those who put bitter for sweet and darkness for light. And I mean, that's literal because, I mean, what is darkness? Darkness isn't necessarily night and day. Sometimes it's evil and good, but sometimes it's just like knowledge that people know about, and then when they don't know, when they're ignorant of certain things, you know what I'm saying? So there's like many meanings, and when it comes to the powers, you know what I'm saying? And the wicked spiritual wickedness in high places, man, they operate in double speech. So the Venus project is really the Hades project. You know what I'm saying? Hades on Earth project. It's not. They always present it to you. Like with the pretty bow and a nice package. They send this the Unabomber strategy. They send you a nice looking package that looks like a birthday gift with a pretty note on it. But then when you open it, it's boom, shit hits the fan. There's a big piece of shit in there with a fan in it. And when you open the box, yeah, it's like Pandora's box, man. Uh, yeah, that is fucked up. But I mean, that's about how it works. It's a bungee stick. You know what I'm saying? With some doo doo on it, waiting for you to put your foot in. Uh, but okay, what was going on in the Dark Ages? Like I said, medieval devices, torture devices. Look what they're doing. Guantanamo. You know what I'm saying? Waterboarding. And like I was talking about, the Israeli intelligence puts black bags on people's heads, gets them naked, and stacks them in a fucking closet. I mean, that is fucking Dark Ages tactics, man. And we're supposed to be, yeah, your dick meat sandwich or whatever. I mean, that's prison in general. You know what I'm saying? And that's, people accept that punishment that, okay, we're gonna, that's bad, man. I mean, I guess it's all, maybe prison has always been that way, and it's just, see, in Rome, I either, like someone, I heard him say on the way out the jail, on the door out, it says all debts paid in full. But you know what I'm saying? These days, it's not so because prison is an industry, and back then it was kind of a nuisance. You know what I'm saying? It was if you were a nuisance person, they put you there so you could pay off a debt, like by breaking rocks and stuff. But that is acceptable, I guess, if the punishment fits the crime. But I mean, when you start imprisoning people because it's profitable, but not because it's what's righteous, you know what I'm saying? It's a problem, and that's what they did in the neo-feudalistic Dark Age. But now you add the brave new 1984 factor and the final revolution, fucking Huxley Orwellian. Uh, it's crazy. Even with, you see the Catholic Church gaining power and steam again. That was going on in the Dark Ages. All these crazy orders of pagan satanic stuff was going on. You know what I'm saying? It's just re-emerging now into the light. It's been going on. Like we see, how old's Bohemian Grove? Oh fuck, who knows, man? I mean, there's something called American Stonehenge that is in a direct line with Stonehenge, and then it goes all the way back to Phoenicia, Turkey, and that's the Nephilim Canaanite territory. I mean, and I don't know, man. And this is coming to light now, and this is I mean, and it even goes to show how little we know, and how they make it think like everything, like science is all knowing, but there's all these new factors and all these lies coming to light right now, and it shows we're in a dark time. But I mean, it's strange. The darker things get, but also you see what is good shines even that much brighter. You know what I'm saying? That's the flip side of these things. Is that I guess it's got to be hell on earth for a minute before it can get any better. And that before, I mean, because people, it's just they're not waking up. There's some people maybe they were born in the '90s, and maybe the doctors all did something to people in the '90s and beyond, or maybe in past 2000, and it has altered people's genetics to where they're kind of certain factors, survival factors that help people survive, uh, and they're mentally incapacitated. You know what I'm saying? So maybe there's some physiological effect that is leading to all these things as well. The scientific, because I mean, that's the whole thing about this neo-feudalistic dark age, technocratic dark age, is that it was all prophesied hundreds of years ago by high-level occultists in these fraternities that go way the heck back, man. Whether that's a clever illusion and it's fiat like royalty, like just like the government and the Federal Reserve is all fiat and just legalese and trickery. It's like kind of like in the Bible when it talked about Jacob uh, tricked his brother out of his birthright, and maybe this is kind of like what goes around comes around. Now they came and tricked everyone else out of their birthright because they learned it from the beginning and kind of held a grudge. You know what I'm saying? Which that's life, and it doesn't. Aren't there all kinds of people out here with grudges? I mean, why is people raising all these ruckuses about flags? You know what I'm saying? Because they're holding grudges, like too heavy of a grudge. Listen, just keeping things in remembrance is fine. But listen, something I just realized, I just remembered today. It's like, listen, the minute I get angry at these people, I'm already weak and at a disadvantage because I'm not thinking clearly and I can't operate at optimum. I can only operate on I'm being controlled by someone else because they're controlling my emotions. Therefore, they're not necessarily dictating my actions, but they're influencing them. And I got to when they go like this, I gotta. That's basically wax on, wax off. That. So, uh, it's just when they wax on, wax off on, and vice versa. I mean, it's just like it's tricky out here, and it's all double speech. So I mean, listen, if anyone is just a little deceived sometimes, cut them some slack. This is tricky, and it's by design. Some of us have been heavier. Our mind's been messed with and programmed and altered. Some of us have done it to ourselves through the things they give us, like Huxley said he had to get us all doped out. And, the communists said they got to get us sexually depraved. And most of us are almost there, and all that we need is just a little more push off the cliff. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, because it's like we find out after all this time that all these things are like the truth of the matter. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't teach us these things. They kept them hidden from us, kind of, and then kind of taught us something else, and told us that it was what we were supposed to know. But it's just a subtle, clever, long, incremental deception. You know what I'm saying? And now we are seeing the conceptualization of this deception in action with Rainbow White House, for instance. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. It's just like things that shouldn't happen are happening. Up is down. You know what I'm saying? Right is left, left is right. That's what it says. In the end times will be forward time, and that means just backwards. Everything's out of whack. Everything's out of order. Order chaos. You know what I'm saying? We see it. You know what I'm saying? We're living it. And if you don't know, that shows you how much mind control you're under. Listen, the more you're aware of things that are going on, the more you'll realize how much you've been tricked. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're waking up. And that's when the humbling comes, because you gotta listen. Pride and ego and self-righteousness stops you from recognizing things about yourself. You know what I'm saying? It makes you focus on everyone else. You know what I'm saying? Which sometimes you should focus on the big picture. You know what I'm saying? But you got to look at the big picture and the small picture. And you know what I'm saying? To get a full scope view of things. And that means you got to do internal examination, external examination, dude. You need them both, because one without the other. Internal, you get too selfish. You know what I'm saying? External, you're you're not self aware enough. You're probably self deceived. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have this. You got to find this middle ground sometimes, and you gotta just. I mean, anyway, retreat back to the middle ground. So even if you're up or down, you're always retreating back to the middle ground where is balance. I realize this. Balance isn't something you can live constantly. Life is not balanced. You know what I'm saying? So you got to gravitate sometimes to. Sometimes they're trying to force you in a direction, and you got to resist it. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I mean. So when people get too one dimensional, you know what I'm saying? It's like they don't realize they're thinking they're walking a straight line, but it's just a big circle. That's kind of like what Musashi says. You might think that you're following a good way, but if you deviate a little bit, in a long run, it'll be a large divergence. And I mean, I'm living that. You know what I'm saying? Through misconceptions I had 10, 20 years ago, I'm dealing with the problems today. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks because it's kind of like, listen, even though these people tricked us, they gave us this bait. We still took baits. I think everyone has. You know what I'm saying? If anyone thinks they haven't, I think they're self-deceived or they're just lying because they're embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? Or they took some oath. You know what I'm saying? I mean, basically, you got to see things for what they are, and we really are in a neo-feudalistic, technocratic dark age. It's like there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, it's just it's the same old stuff with just a new twist. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, it's new. It's a time unlike any other, but there's been similar times. You know what I'm saying? And what we're going to see reemergence of literally monsters, dragons, vampires, werewolves. We're seeing it with things in the sky, Project Bluebeam and HARP and the CERN machine and Charlie games. And cloning, the Yerke National Forest with the Human Z Project. I mean, the zombie apocalypse, all these things were, listen, the Terminators, RoboCop. Yeah, there's another thing. That's what else they had in the Dark Ages was these knights, these enforcers that would go basically, I mean, they were mercenaries, opportunists. Like sometimes they were good, sometimes they were bad, but it was like they were the cops. Like they dealt justice for the Lord or the King. You know what I'm saying? And they oppressed people. They helped oppress people. They helped free people sometimes. I mean, that's why it's hard to say this is good when so many factions did so many things on each side. That's just like the Masons always try to say, we're responsible solely for America, so we get to say what it dictate, whatever that goes on. But I mean, though, some of them guys in the beginning in the revolution might have had good intentions, there was evil men who crept in unaware and sowed the seeds of these things we're reaping today, this evil, this oppression. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it was incremental. It didn't happen right away. You know what I'm saying? Just like we didn't just wake up in a technocratic, neo-feudalistic dark age. We got these gorilla suit cops. You know what I'm saying? Running around beating up people at riots and stuff, or not riots, but protests. I mean, soon we'll probably see. I mean, the way things are going, you never know. You might see justice administered in the streets, like hanging innocent people, horses pulling people apart, guillotines, or maybe it'll be upgraded to a vaporization chamber. I mean, we've already watched public executions with the gas chamber, the electric chamber, people shooting people shit in the arm. So I mean, firing squads. I mean, this is neo dark age type stuff. This is stuff that went on way back in the day when people were uncivilized, right? You know what I'm saying? Is civilization really civilized? I mean, that's the trick right there, that they trick you like lawlessness is civilized. You know what I'm saying? It's so legalese and so sophisticated, the double speech trickery. You know what I'm saying?